What's up, folks? Welcome to another Airport Alert production. In this video, we are going to show you the 20 weirdest things, the most interesting caches, and the things that caused the surprise of the authorities. Get ready, because in the comments we want to know which one caught your attention the most. The content of this channel is original. It is about documentaries. Our focus is on information, and we are not encouraging or extolling the use of these drugs. In fact, we are against crime. Now we move on to the most striking cases. San Andres is an island that Colombia has in the Caribbean, where Cani and those trained detected something abnormal in a parcel. It was 28 sticks of sausage. It was destined for the tourist island of San Andres. But after inspecting these sausages, the anti-narcotics agents realized that they were full of marijuana. Of course, the people transporting them were arrested. Post-19 drugs in shoes. Canine squads have a high percentage of effectiveness. In fact, here on our channel, we dedicate an exclusive video to them, so you can watch it below. In this case, the police dogs boarded a bus where a Bolivian passenger had something hidden in her shoes. Of course, in every airport and bus station in the world, there are dog squads. In this case, travelers try to hide drugs in their shoes. But of course, dogs are more cunning. The cases, of course, are many, so we share one more with you. Post-18 wigs are a common place where drug traffickers hide things. There are several cases. We also have a video dedicated to them which you can watch here. In this case, an Indian national was arrested at an airport, and look what he was carrying inside his wig. Yes, he had hidden 698 grams of gold on a trip from India to Dubai. Many people are speaking out against this smuggling, saying that gold should not be a substance that authorities are looking for. But this person was arrested anyway. Number 17. Animal trafficking. Animal trafficking is one of the most heinous crimes in existence. In this case, a Norwegian citizen was arrested with 14 royal pythons and 10 albino leopard geckos. All were strapped to his body. You can see the snakes in bags strapped to his chest, while the geckos were in cans strapped to his legs. Post-16. Underwater narcos. We share the first seizure of an underwater narco in Europe. It is cocaine from Colombia, valued at about $6 million. 13 kilos of cocaine. When detected, these drug traffickers simply had to abandon the submarine. By air and sea is one of the most commonly used methods. In this case, drug traffickers try to smuggle substances of all kinds from Africa to Europe, often through the Strait of Gibraltar, one of the closest points between the two continents. This submarine was 72 feet, about 15 meters long, and was examined by police. Post-15. Cocaine inside bananas. In this case, the Spanish Guardia Civil in Barcelona detects a suspicious van. Its cargo was bananas. The bananas came from Ecuador, but upon further examination, the authorities detected about 15 kilos of drugs inside the bananas. Smuggling inside fruit and other objects is very common, which is why all members of the security forces have canine personnel on their staff. Searches are thorough. Post-14. Cocaine in the hoops. In this case, at Ezeiza Airport, Buenos Aires, Argentina, a police dog raised the alarm. Something unusual was found in this export of 86 pairs of earrings. The authorities proceeded to check them and found that they were full of cocaine. These earrings were destined for export to Australia, and the investigation continued to trace the course of the drug from who produced it to who should receive it. Shipping illegal substances in various products is very much the order of the day, and the authorities are on the lookout for it. Postarin the fake disabled. A Spanish citizen was trying to transit through Malpensa airport in Milan. Pretending to have a motor disability, he thought he would not be checked, but of course the dogs were there and very kindly approached his wheelchair. The citizen was detained. This man was a transit passenger coming from the Dominican Republic. By pretending to be disabled, he avoided some control, but he did not count on the dogs that did not stop barking. Inside his wheelchair, they found 13 kilos of cocaine. Post 12. The human mules. Silvio Petirosi Airport, Paraguay. In this case, a 26-year-old citizen who was already being investigated by the police was detained for a more thorough check. His flight was direct to Madrid, Spain, and this young Paraguayan was recruited as a mule. More than 2 kilos of cocaine were found attached to his legs. Post 11. Drug traffickers are willing to do anything. At Sprat Airport, police arrested a female passenger on a flight from Colombia who was carrying breast prostheses filled with 1,300 kilos of cocaine. This is not the first time that criminals have resorted to operations to insert drugs into the bodies of mules. In this case, a young female passenger was arrested with breast implants filled with cocaine and perhaps one of the most attention-grabbing stalls. She is asked more exhaustive questions to which the woman is seen to have a suspicious attitude, not answering coherently, getting nervous in front of the questions. Have you already written in the comments which stall caught your attention the most? Well, here in post number 10 we have people hiding in mattresses to cross the border. The use of mattresses to hide migrants is the new ploy of the mafias at the Melilla border. Melilla is a Spanish city in North Africa, on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. That is why many smugglers try to cross a land border in this way. We continue on to post number 1, and it is striking that some smugglers do not even try to hide what they are carrying. At the airport in New Delhi, the police arrested an Indian and a Maltese national with 15 gold bars, which have a high market value. The striking thing is that they were carrying them in their luggage without even camouflaging them. They were simply hidden inside newspaper papers. The citizens were arrested. And speaking of gold, in this second case they did put a little more intention to hide them, as they had sewn them in pockets and in double bottoms inside their clothes. But the police simply had to try a little harder. They started cutting up the men's clothes and recovered 1.5 kilos of gold at Abu Dhabi airport. Number 8. Secret stashes. In this case, you can see the effort of the traffickers to make hiding places to try to get across the border into Arizona, USA. Car tires, fire extinguishers, some car batteries, and even inside Coca-Cola. Yes, the world's most famous drink is also often used to smuggle narcotics, and in this case, luckily, the police noticed. Number 7. The narco grandmother. In this case, Colombian police at Medellin airport are suspicious of the wheelchair of an 81-year-old woman. Some of the rods of the chair do not match the color of the others. So they made an incision with a drill, and of course the test was positive for cocaine hydrochloride. It is very common for criminals to use elderly people to try to traffic, as often the controls are not so exhaustive with them. In this case, the woman was 81 years old and was traveling in a wheelchair. And speaking of the elderly, here we go to Spain. Police in Barajas, Madrid detained an 83-year-old man also in a wheelchair. But in this case, the grandfather did not have the cocaine hidden inside the chair, but had it attached to his buttocks by means of a girdle. The old man claimed that he did it for money and out of necessity, as he has to pay for treatment and has no money. With a kilo of cocaine, was arrested. If you watch the Breaking Bad series, Stall 6 could be Walter White's or even Gustavo Fring's nightmare. At Mexico City Airport, police seized these packages of food, sweets and chips containing the drug known as crystal meth. Came from the state of Sinaloa and was hidden in these well-prepared packages, but of course the dogs checked it. Even if your suitcase is not with you, the dogs can check it, either in the boarding area or even on the conveyor belts. This happened at the airport in Chile, where the dogs seized a shipment that apparently had sweets in it, but of course inside, the police found a shipment of drugs. Number 5. A Jesus full of cocaine. This statue of Jesus Christ, complete with flowing hair and golden cape, was seized by federal agents in Laredo with about 6 pounds of cocaine mixed into the plaster. Without the sniffer dogs, the statue could have been dismissed as a mere trinket. Some say you can't put a price on Jesus, but it was worth about $30,000 on the streets, according to the DEA spokesman. If the statue had been successfully smuggled, it would have been diluted in water and dried before being sold in small packages. If you are still shocked, the owner of the statue was a 61-year-old man who paid a woman, he said, $80 to cross the border. Post 4. The enemy within. In November 2022 in Colombia, police arrested an army colonel who traveled from Madrid to his country with an arsenal. It is believed that the colonel was attempting to smuggle weapons, for which he was prosecuted, but remarkably he was not arrested. Post 3. This happened in Chile, but nevertheless the German, Spanish and Italian police were involved, as they were on his trail. He is the narco engineer, a computer engineer who had no previous record, who had not even had a problem with his neighbors, so he did not arouse suspicion, but was nevertheless investigated for months. He is accused of being a dangerous dealer who offered everything from ecstasy to heroin and even a novel drug called the God molecule. In his flat, they found drugs valued at more than $200,000. The amount of drugs he had in his possession and the money he had in his possession was unmarketable, in the sense that this is probably a person who has a specific role within a probably wider criminal structure. Post 2. Liquid cocaine. This woman was detained at Ezeiza Airport when customs personnel searched the clothes in her suitcase and performed a narco test reagent test, and the result was liquid cocaine. She was carrying almost 10 kilos of drugs impregnated in 36 items of clothing. The woman was traveling to Lisbon with a stopover in Paris and was carrying a lot of cash. Liquid cocaine is a method that has been in the sights of investigators for years, who know that it is very difficult to detect and that it can be smuggled as a liquid or, as in this case, impregnated in her clothes. Before we go to number 1, here's a bonus track. And don't forget to leave us your opinion in the comments on which case most catches your attention. Sao Paulo, Brazil. A woman pretended to be pregnant by enlarging her belly with a watermelon. She is 38 years old and was arrested by the military police battalion. In her belly was a watermelon that was loaded with about 2 kilos of cocaine. According to the police, the woman was on her way to Rio de Janeiro. This is not the only case. This Paraguayan woman was arrested after pretending to be pregnant to carry some packets of marijuana from the triple border area in Foz de Iguaçu to Porto Alegre. Here we see how the police witnessed the birth of these 6 packages containing 6 kilograms of cocaine. You might be surprised by post number 1. Argentina. Coming from the Republic of Paraguay, customs seized 4 human skulls when a bus was crossing the San Ignacio de Loyola International Bridge to enter the country. At that moment, the luggage scanner showed an image that left the customs staff speechless, who could not believe their eyes. They proceeded to physically check the luggage, which belonged to a citizen who was traveling on the bus bound for Buenos Aires. 4 human skulls were found hidden in the luggage. The skulls were in good condition, complete, some even with jaws and teeth. This woman said that the skulls were being taken to Argentina to be sent to the United States, where they would be subjected to scientific studies. She argued that professionals tended to choose this type of skulls because they were complete and had European ancestors, which is attractive because of their morphology, anatomy, and aspects of medical and anthropological interest. And in some cases also related to religious rituals and collectors. The value of these objects on the black market can run into thousands of dollars, and they can even be traded through online auctions. We hope you enjoyed this documentary. Don't forget that we are against any kind of drug trafficking and crime. The images are used for informational purposes. Stay tuned to our channel. We invite you to watch the next video.